Hey guys, so I've just tried to film this video about like 2 times and my camera keeps crapping out, so I'm gonna try to make it quick, to the point, whatever. Okay, we're talking about my surgery. So basically, after I lost 120 pounds, I had a lot of extra skin and I wanted it removed. That was a personal choice. Some people choose to live with it. I know there's a video going around right now about a guy who had extreme weight loss and he has a lot of extra skin, and if you want to live with that, more power to you. I think that's awesome. I couldn't personally. I felt that I had worked so hard and I still wasn't comfortable in my own body, and I thought that I deserved to feel comfortable finally because of all the hard work I put in. So I went to a plastic surgeon not knowing if anything was going to be covered by insurance. The parts of my body that were the worst were my breasts and my stomach. It had a lot of extra skin. Um, my arms and my legs still have extra skin, but it wasn't as bad or noticeable. So I chose to leave those alone because obviously I don't have the money to fix those things. So my boobs ended up being covered by insurance. The doctors said that my boobs were literally those of a 90-year-old woman. So that was fun. I had and this was after all the weight loss, so none of this helped me lose weight. It was just the skin. I had a breast lift and implants put in. I had silicone implants. There's two types of implants, silicone and saline. I did silicone because they feel and look more like a real boob, and being 19 years old, I wanted that real look and feel. Um, the things about breast implants that I didn't really know was you cannot breastfeed if you have implants, so that's something to consider if you're thinking about it, and you're planning on having children. For me, that was something that I had to deal with, and I had to become okay with. And you also, there's a strong possibility that you're going to lose a lot, if not all, feeling in your boobs. So sexually, this is something the surgeon said with my mom in the room. Sexually, if boobs are your area of arousal, you're probably not going to be able to feel much in your nipple or surrounding areas. Um, Sometimes feeling comes back almost completely, and other times it doesn't come back at all, so it's really a gamble. I have some feeling, but not much, so that's something I had to deal with too. And then I had a tummy tuck, which just basically is snipping off all the skin and pulling it down. So my surgeries were a little complicated though. I had a lot of things go wrong that shouldn't have gone wrong, and it wasn't the doctor's fault. It's just how my body decided to screw me up. So basically it was supposed to be one overnight in the hospital procedure. The procedure itself was long. I was in there for about 8 hours. Of course, I'm down under anesthetic, so I didn't know how long it was, but when I woke up, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, at first they're pumping you full like OxyContin and Percocet, so I was feeling fantastic for a little while, and then once that started to wear off, I was probably in the worst pain of my life. I could not move. Um, Basically, I tried to get up to go to the bathroom like twice because they can't discharge you from the hospital until you go to the bathroom to make sure the anesthetic isn't affecting you. Um, and both times that I attempted to get up, first of all, it took me 45 minutes to get out of the bed. Um, both times I tried to get up, I ended up passing out from the pain. So eventually they just had to put a catheter in me, which is gross. That's the tube that goes in so the pee comes out. And it was horrible, but I needed it because I couldn't get up. And I was done and I gave up and I wasn't getting up because I didn't want to pass out again. Um, and then about 2 days into being in the hospital, first of all, when you have the surgery, when you come out, you have these tubes coming out of your incision site on your stomach, and little clear bubbles, I guess, at the end. They kind of look like clear grenades, and they drain the excess fluids and blood from the area, but there shouldn't be much blood in there. Then you have dressings on your incision site. So the nurse comes in and she's changing the dressings as she always does. It's like 4 a.m. I'm not sleeping because I can't, because they're coming in every 10 minutes to either take my blood or take my vitals or whatever. So she's changing the dressings and she gets this look on her face and she's like, oh. And of course, that's not really something you want to hear when you just had pretty major surgery. And it turned out that my incision site was bleeding. The dressings were all full of blood. My drains were all full of blood, and they determined that I had bleeding under the skin and possible internal bleeding. So the doctor at like 5 a.m. came in and was like, all right, we're going to rush you to an operating room and do emergency surgery. And that was really scary, but, and it's actually a funny story. There was like, it was a Catholic hospital, and like a priest came in and was like saying prayers over my bed, and I didn't know that that was like a routine thing, and I thought it was because I was getting emergency surgery, and I was like, is this last rites? Like, am I about to die? I was freaking out. I was crying. It was horrible. I had to call my mom at like 6 a.m. and be like, please come help me. I don't know what's going on, and I'm so scared. So they had to reopen me up, drain all the blood from under my skin, and then they came back and I was wiped out. I never felt this level of exhaustion and pain in my life. So they were still pumping me full of painkillers, and then it was determined that I had lost about half the blood in my body, which is bad. So then I had to have a blood transfusion, which is scary, really, really scary. So I had a blood transfusion of 1 pint of blood, and then that turned out to not be enough. I still only had like 0.6 units of blood in my body, so then I needed to have another blood transfusion the next day. And the blood transfusions were scary, and I hated every minute of it, but it was necessary. And I really had a lot of complications, and then eventually, probably like 5 or 6 days of being in the hospital, when it was supposed to be one overnight procedure, I finally went home. I could really barely walk. I was in a wheelchair for a little bit, and then I would walk like hunched over like an old lady, and everything hurt, and I would have to empty my drains, which was so disgusting. The drains were super annoying, and then I had like a binder on my stomach and gauze all over my chest. But I remember the first time I like looked down and saw my boobs, I was like, I could barely look down because it hurt. And then I was like smiling, but I was like crying because it hurt. It was so bad, but great at the same time. But now my body healed keloid, which means that all my scars healed outwards instead of inwards. So I have to have surgery again this May. Hopefully things won't go bad and go crazy. It's not supposed to be a huge procedure. They're basically going to fix the scars, hopefully, and hopefully I don't heal like that again. And my boobs also sagged a lot again. And I also, from benching, I fucked up my left boob, and sorry for the language, ooh, that was bad, my bad. So I screwed up my boob, and the implant is now out of place, so I can't bench anymore, and I can't do a lot of chest right now. But yeah, so I have to have all these, another lift and that kind of a thing. So anyway, I'm going to show you some of my scars on my body and some of the things that are good, some of the things that are bad, and yeah, just because people keep asking. So I'm in a sports bra because I don't normally walk around like this, but anyway. Okay, so tummy scar is pretty gnarly, and my belly button is like closed up. I don't know if you can really see, but the scarring is all around there, and it's raised and it's hard, so I can't even like get a finger in my belly button. This is not supposed to look like that. It's like dark purple, red, and it's raised, and it goes to about there, and that's where the pumps would have come out of. And then, as you can see, like my tummy, even though it's tight, it's not perfect. Like, I have looseness, I don't know if you can tell, but I have all these stretch marks on the sides here, and then, I don't want to, like, show you guys my boobs, but, like, you can see that there's skin, once again, pretty badly, and under my boobs, I have those scars as well, and around my nipple, but I'm not showing you guys that. And those are just the places that I had fixed. Also, P.S. I'm super bloated because I got my period. So on my arms, I don't know if you can, well, you can't see when I'm flexing, but, fuck. I have, like, some skin down here, and it is skin, it's not fat, so that's good. And I have some, like, stretch marky kind of things, but obviously it's not as bad as everywhere else. And then on my legs, I have some skin. I have some skin on like my inner thigh that doesn't really want to go away, like that. And I have a lot, even though I have muscle too. So, in a nutshell, those are the things that went right and wrong with my surgery, and hopefully I can correct it. But I hope that answers a lot of questions. And if you're deciding to get surgery, don't like go by my story necessarily. Do a lot of research and find out what's best for you, and no matter what though, like be comfortable in your body and happy with your weight loss, because I wear these scars and I feel like they're like badges, like scars of progress. I don't know. I try to be positive about it and say, like, you know what, these are my battle scars, these are my wounds, but I fought a really good battle, so that's what happens. Alright, so I hope that answered a lot of questions. If you have more questions, I'll keep making these FAQ videos because I think they're easier and they're helpful. So, alright, bye guys.